I actually went here as an undergraduate back in the early 90s and really had a great experience here as a student. Never really imagined I'd be back here in the capacity of a faculty member. I had a couple of other teaching jobs and there was an opening here in Ithaca and it was too much to resist. I just love Ithaca and I love the college. As a department, I think we work closely together as teachers. So often we'll offer a number of sections of a course, and so we're all teaching the same course, comparing notes, and I've grown a lot as a teacher learning from my cohorts in chemistry. They're a great bunch to work with. And I've also learned a lot from people in other departments, and specifically Gary Wells from art history has really changed the way I think as a teacher in very positive ways. And that was a really big step for me to break out of my routine and really learn something new. One of the most rewarding teaching experiences I've ever had. This is called Chemistry and Art, and the course is designed to highlight intersections between these two fields, which at first seem very, very different. But when you think about it, there's a lot that they have in common. So artists use chemicals, and so if you approach artwork from a material standpoint, you can learn about what makes paint colored, what makes paint stick to a canvas, what happens when paint dries, and then what happens to that painting as it ages over time. And it turns out the chemistry that happens is very rich, and there's a lot that can be learned in there. One of our big goals for that course was to bring together two topics that at first seemed very different. At the end of the semester, we always take a trip to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and they're all surprised to know that in the basement there's extensive labs in that museum, and they do all the things that we teach them down there. We want students to graduate Ithaca College knowing what being a chemist is really like, and we don't, we feel like not doing research would be like learning about basketball without ever playing the game. And they're doing real things. So most of our students go to national conferences and present their work, which has a profound influence on them in the future. And if things go really well, we've had a number of students appear as co-authors on publications. And I think we're recognized as a result by graduate schools and in the chemical industry, sending students there prepared to do work. One of the big projects we've been working on lately is making biodegradable plastics from non-petroleum resources. We've made some progress on it and had a paper come out last year with Ithaca College co-authors, and so this is a problem that a lot of people are working on in chemistry right now. So figure that people are not going to stop using plastics; they're just too good at what they do. But the idea here is that can we make plastics that serve their purpose, but then won't last forever after their functional lifetime is over? So my students work on making catalysts that help facilitate the formation of these plastics so they can be used in food packaging or medical applications or fiber chemistry, and they won't outlive their grandchildren. I've served on a number of committees at the college. Probably the one that I've served on longer than any other was the pre-medical science committee, where we advise students that are interested in pursuing a career in medicine. Very rewarding committee because you're dealing with some of the finest students that we have, and it's great to help coach them along their path. And I tend to like to do service that involves students if I can. I served for about 6 years on the Phi Kappa Phi committee, which is our local honor society. Well, it's a national honor society that recognizes students in all disciplines. And so that was very rewarding too, because we got to highlight our student accomplishments. So that was great. I served a little bit on the tenure and promotion committee here, which was a great learning experience for me. And then one of my favorite committees that I've ever served on was probably the CP Snow Committee, which is a great committee that is charged with bringing in speakers that bridge the gap between the sciences and humanities, which is something that interests me a great deal. So a very fun and rewarding committee too. Having a job I love so much already, I look forward to coming to work every day. It's a great pleasure to be a faculty member, and then being recognized in this way is just icing on the cake. It reflects well on the people that I work with, because I learned so much from them, and so it's a great honor to be recognized by my colleagues and students in this way. I can't imagine a bigger honor, actually. So I'm very grateful for the recognition.